Here we go. For those who don't know, LeoRusher, he is... Oh, is he? Yeah, I think I would say the best player in Singapore right now. He's been on the rise, on the up and up in the Southeast Asian region. And now we're going to be seeing him here against a Zerg. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of the Wilderness Survivor, we have the Southeast Asian, the Singaporean Protoss player. He is red. He is LeoRusher. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the Wilderness Survivor, we have his opponent. We have the American Zerg representing Team Gosu. It is Koht. Koht, even. All right, let's go, Poppy. Let's go. Fun fact, the winner of this series is going to be facing Demi in the next round. So we do have a little bit of continuity there. Demi already advancing on forward, and yeah, these two players going to be looking to gain the luxury, the honor of facing him. As we get into this pretty standard stuff so far, we do see LeoRusher just being a little bit annoying. Oh my god. And we're just going to be going full NA here. We are going to be delaying the natural base here of Koht, but there's a reason for that. We're going to be going into a gas pool opener. And this is all going to be confirmed by LeoRusher. He does go into the main base. He does see the timing of the gas and the spawning pool, is aware. And with this, Koht is going to have some options. He's going to be able to rush into link speed, maybe go for a link flood. He can go into a baneling bust as well, depending on if he does pull out of gas. And we already see that. Okay, we're just pulling in. Depending on when he pulls out of gas. Regardless, this is a very aggressive opener coming out from our Zerg player. Regardless, we do see LeoRusher just going to be expanding, going to be going for a gate cyber expand. Going to be walling off here at the natural. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what this gas is going to be used for, because we have reached that 100 gas. We should be getting link speed in a couple of seconds, and there we go. Link speed is on the way, and we have not pulled out of gas, which means it's a bane bust. No, a roach warren instead. Okay, 2 games in a row we've been seeing these roach plays instead. Regardless, a lot of aggression, and LeoRusher has to figure out what exactly is going on. He still has a probe out here, but the Ling is looking to deny that scout. LeoRusher's in the dark, and he needs to figure out if we continue mining gas or not. The Queen is here to deny him as well. LeoRusher, he doesn't know. And there's like a delicate balance here where you don't want to overreact, right? Because if you overreact and really it's only link speed and God is just droning behind this, and you're setting yourself behind. Do you have a Stargate follow-up so we can get into Void Rays? Still only 1 gateway. I feel like LeoRusher is underreacting, not gonna lie. The Adept, though, should be able to slip into the main base. I just worry that we don't have our second gate. As we commit to the shade and we're not getting in, but at least we do spot the roaches. Now we know what's going on. LeoRusher throwing down his second gateway, throwing down a shield battery as well. Is this reaction too late? We are going to be able to chrono out our first Void Ray. But God is rushing across the map, rushing even faster because of the speed zones. Let's go. They're zooming, Papi. They're zooming. As we have 3 shield batteries on the way. I don't know if you noticed something a little bit interesting here about the defensive setup, but there is a Arthrosis pylon. Everything is powered by one single pylon, which is a little bit risky. But here we go. The Roaches and Ravagers are rocking up. The gateway is being focused down as we speak. We do have a second pylon on the way, thankfully. In the back line. Have we recognized what's going on? We do have the overcharge. Oh, despite that, that Stalker almost does fall. Voids are being pulled. Shield batteries being focused down. And it looks like the Roach Ravagers just doing a little bit too much. Links continuing to flood in across the map. And we went for an Oracle instead of a Void Ray. The Oracle is going to be able to clean up all those Lings, but as you can imagine, the problem with the Oracle is that it does run out of energy. And there we go. The Oracle is now a paperweight. It can't really do too much else. As Ling Roach Ravager just keeps on pushing forward. Every single unit goes down. The production is compromised. Bearing in mind there are no more gateways in the main. They're all at the natural. And the Koht doesn't care. He has the option to depower these gateways, but no, he goes for the kill instead. He goes for the probes. Oh, the Oracle's trying to do what they can, and they're trying to focus down those Ravagers. But the Lings, there are just too many of them. Every single probe goes down, and Koht, the American ladder hero. He's gonna be able to take down LeoRusher, mate. There's no other way about it. Stargate gets depowered. We have 2 Adepts to defend and 2 Oracles. But we're down to 5 probes, and we're not even mining. We are not even mining. Ay, ay, ay. Main base gonna be falling as well. And yeah, Koht punching up. Again, LeoRusher, he has represented Singapore before. You know, he has been there on the main stage, and even in ANZ and Champs as well. But here, in the Funky Cup, in the Funky 6K Open, it's not going to be enough. Because, mate, we just all in. And there we go. The final probe goes down. The Oracle's doing what they can, but once again, they're just out of energy. And GG gets called. Koht takes the first game. GG. Well played. Really well played. Again, I'm honestly not familiar with him, but for him to take a game here against LeoRusher is very impressive. Ooh. As from here, we're going to be getting into game number 2. And game 2 is going to be taking place on the Sacred Isle. Let's go. And I appreciate this because we've been casting a lot of the same round. We keep seeing these same maps as well. We're getting used to them, Pap. We're getting used to them. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of the Sacred Isle, we have the Singaporean Protoss player, the best player in all of Singapore, but down in this series. Can he bring it back? It's the Red Protoss. It is LeoRusher. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Sacred Isle, we have his opponent. We have the pink Zerg player representing Team Gosu. It is Koht. So I see in the chat, every match is proxy or all in. We had some macro PvPs just to start the night off. Earlier in the day, we did have some macro PvPs. To be fair. Just not so much when it comes to the other matchups, unfortunately. But I'm sure we'll get them. As this time, Koht is going for a hatch first. And LeoRusher, let's go. This is what I was curious about, but yeah, we have the pocket base, sure, but we're going to be going for a bit of a different wall instead, covering the triangular third here. So a little bit greedier, much further away from the Nexus, of course, but yeah, you love to see it. Because we've been casting so many PvPs, we've just been so used to like double gate openers here on this map. Finally, spread your wings, Poppy, spread your wings. And this is just bringing me back to Moondance, because this is the reason why Moondance was so good for Protoss in PvZ, because with your initial wall, you can be so greedy and you can take your natural and take a third base so quickly and so easily behind this. And transition to Sky Toss. That was back, of course, with a more Sky Toss heavy meta before the hero style of PvZ. And yeah, it wasn't amazing. It wasn't amazing to experience. Just because you can cut corners, you can take your third base a little bit faster. Feels Moondance, man. Feels Moondance. That's why I vetoed it. Same can be said for Terran players. Oh my god. Wait, did we just cancel the Nexus? We did. Am I crazy? We canceled something. We're going for a 2-gate opener. Okay, let's go. LeoRusher going to be a little bit more aggressive here, delaying his Nexus for 2 gateways instead. With this, we're going to have 2 and then 4 Adepts. And Koht does see all of this. The Overlord Pillar is directly over this base and sees everything. And he should be preparing back at home. There we go. We have a swell of Lings on the way. These adepts can get out of hand, especially when we meet up with the other two, because we can, of course, one-shot workers and snowball from there. So here we go. One drone already going to be going down. Lings have arrived, though. They're going to be able to get a full surround here, and we don't get behind the mineral line. Ooh. Ay. Maybe not familiar here with some of the terrain. Both adepts go down. Already a good start for Koht. We have another two on the way, but these two are going to be much less impressive than the first. So LeoRusher putting himself behind a little bit because he did delay his own Nexus for this. Yeah, these adepts, they have to find some more damage, more than just one drone. As the adepts do run back home. But yeah, like, I would love to see, ooh, as the link slips in, I would love to see like a more standard PvZ setup, like an Oracle into third Nexus, especially because we're not going to need our Oracle to stay at home to protect that Nexus either on a map like this. Like, you can cut so many more corners and you'd be so much more aggressive with your initial Oracles. It's crazy. As we do see a Void Ray opener coming out from LeoRusher. Interesting. Not an Oracle. Okay. Behind this, Koht is in a pretty good economic position. He's going to be able to drone up from here quite heavily. Because there's no Oracle on the way either, he doesn't really have to be too concerned with having Queens in position to protect the mineral lines. As the Void Ray does reveal itself. There is going to be an Oracle behind this, and at least Koht has confirmation that it is going to be a Stargate opener, but we can afford to delay the Spore Crawlers, and the Spores are finally on the way, at least here at the third. From here, we are quickly transitioning into the Twilight Council, into the Forge. Third base already on the way. And again, you can, like, even here, I feel like we made too much. Like, I feel like we can skip out on some warp-ins just for a faster third. I feel like the build can be adjusted to the map. As the Oracle is going to be headed towards that third, Queens are in position that the Oracle doesn't find any damage. Spores finishing up in the main. Void Ray finding a second Overlord. Oh, and can we cancel this fourth base? We may be able to. No, that's okay. We'll just do a little bit of damage here. Maybe we can come in a little bit later on. Blink, of course, on the way. And even though LeoRusher has been able to get into three bases quite handedly, we do see Koht also taking his own fourth as we speak, taking his gases, droning up, spreading his creep. And looking quite defended here on Sacred Isle, especially with this high ground. Like, likewise, as defensible as these three bases are, these four, I should extend that to four bases. Just because of this high ground, because you can sit up here with SimCity. I can see it already. I can see Hero throwing down like pylons and gateways just to wall off, just to really solidify yourself on four bases. Or even not even taking advantage of these ramps, but even these choke points here. Oh, I can see it so clearly. Oh no. Not like this, Bobby, not like this. As those initial two adepts from the start of the game are going to try and find some more damage, but no, they don't get a single drone. They do go down. And yeah, we're getting a pretty macro game out of this, because even though we kind of focused on +1 and Blink, we didn't go for a Gateway Explosion. So LeoRusher isn't going for the more aggressive variant here of these Blink Stalkers. He's going to be taking up immediately into a second Robo and into a Bay. This is another build that has been rising in popularity recently, especially to help counter these Ling heavy compositions. We have +1 melee on the way. Again, soon to be, or I imagine, going to be working up towards +2. But LeoRusher is just slowly taking this fourth base, setting up defensively, stage traps being thrown down. And with these double Robos, we should be getting to Colossi. And we've got options. Colossus shut down the Lings, Disruptors shut down the Roaches, and there we go. Extended Thermal Lenses on the way. Colossi are going to be produced 2 at a time. So even though, like, I can foresee Protoss players being very defensive and very greedy as well on this map, LeoRusher is doing this, like, kind of taking advantage of that as well. Not in the same way that, like, again, you can otherwise take this, but we still have a 4th base. We're still being very defensive, and yeah, it can sometimes be difficult for Koht to try to break this. He's going to try to. Oh my god, we have a lot of Banelings on the way. Got our Banelings, got our Roaches. 5th base behind this. LeoRusher has to be very careful. He doesn't want to fight on the map. Not right now. He also has very limited scouting information as well. He doesn't. He actually really doesn't know what Koht is up to. Colossi have arrived. Shield batteries are on the way. Oh, an unfortunate morph for these Banelings. The Baneling's going to try and roll on in. And the control, the Prism does pick up the Colossi. The Stalker army is going to be going down, but the Colossi can kind of go to town on everything else, to be honest. Oh, Hot Warp in there as well. The Banelings don't get into the mineral line. LeoRusher does defend. He did lose a lot of Stalkers, but I mean, it's not like he was going for a push anytime soon anyway. I mean, so there we go. Our 4 gateways did finish on up. We now are moving up towards 3, soon to be 4 Colossi. Banelings are rolling on in. Oh god, but again, the juggling is a little bit too good. Not a single Colossi goes down. The Roaches though. Oh! Roaches are trying to dive on top of the Colossus, but now we have a 4th. And LeoRusher holds onto his 4th base. From here, we can now... We've hit that sweet spot of 4 Colossi in PvZ. We can now get into Disruptor production. If we did preserve our Stalker count, then we probably could move out and maybe even punish this 5th base. But because the Stalker count was reset, it is a risky move to move out. Yeah, LeoRusher is just going to be backing off. Just flirting with the idea of moving out, maybe clearing up some of this creep. He does have energy for Revelations. Does have those 2 Disruptors. Does have to be very careful though. There's a lot of creep here on the map and a lot of potential for surrounds. Yeah, speaking of, Koht is kind of getting ready for that. Getting ready to receive. Observer has arrived and LeoRusher is going to try and push back as much creep as possible. I love it. Again, we're not overextending. Again, Koht wants his opponent to push onto creep. As Koht has maxed out on Lingbane Road Ravager, we even have the Vipers for those Abducts. He's looking for that fight. Oh, we have a bit of a premature Abduct there. 2 Vipers, they do get focused down. Not the best execution there from that fight. And now Koht is on the back foot. He lost 2 Vipers. He doesn't have a lot of Lingbane either. Yeah, and LeoRusher, he can just keep on pushing from here. He has hit the critical mass. He does have the Protoss Death Ball rolling even. We were able to kill 1 Disruptor earlier, but the Colossus, they stand strong. Again, Koht, he just picked a fight that he didn't really want to take. Or that he shouldn't have taken. And from here, the 5th base is going to be going down. The army crumbles. Koht has another base, don't get me wrong, but LeoRusher has a lot of momentum and he's not going to slow down. We're going to try and gather energy on another Viper, but even if we had enough energy for an Abduct, like, what are we going to do? Like, the army just isn't large enough. Koht lost everything. We're going to go in for one final push here. Lings get melted. Roaches, there just aren't enough of them. No Ravagers either. GG gets called, and LeoRusher's going to fight back in this series, and he takes game number 2. GG. We have a series. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. And the ace match is going to be, I believe, on Hellscape. Hellscape, Poppy. Here we go. The ace match. Again, Sacred Isle, I feel like was playing out as those pocket base maps do play out, but now we're here in game number 3, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our red Protoss player from the land of Singapore. It is LeoRusher. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hellscape, we have his opponent. We have the pink Zerg player representing Team Gosu. It is Koht. Here we go. In Hellscape, quite a bit different. No pocket bases this time, of course. Do you have the goal bases towards the center of the map? It does feel as if the triangular third is quite narrow and quite defensible just because of that. Looks relatively easy to wall off. But I wouldn't say that this is anywhere near as defensible as that last map. The fourth base as well has a choke point going in. Unlike, say, what was it called? Unlike, say, Wilderness of Ire, the fourth base isn't completely exposed out to the wilderness. And yeah, we'll see if we get a more macro game. Once again, 2 games in a row, LeoRusher is going for a 2-gate opener. My god. Jesus. This didn't really work out for him in the last game, if you recall. Like, the Adepts weren't really doing too much damage. They got like 1 drone kill for 4 Adepts. It was not very good at all. So LeoRusher maybe believing that he can out-control his opponent, somehow make up for that. We'll see. As this does delay the Nexus here of LeoRusher in favor of the timing of 2 Adepts and then 4 Adepts after that. Hopefully, Koht's control is going to be able to keep up with LeoRusher, and he's going to be able to minimize his losses like last time. We'll see. As the Adepts are on the way. Both Adepts being chronoed out here. Koht, his Overlord, does see this, by the way. The pillar is over the natural, and he sees everything. Is aware that he's going to have to make an extra wave of lings to make sure that he is safe to these Adepts. Oh, interesting. So even though we had a 2-gate opener, we're rushing out the first 2 Adepts, so we have a Stalker coming out behind this. We're not making the 3rd and 4th Adept. Interesting. So a little bit less aggressive. Or less committed, I should say. Still aggressive, but less committed overall. So here we go. The Adepts are looking to shade into the main base. They're going to be threatening that natural as well. So far, it does cancel the shade and is going to be denying some mining time here at that natural. This time, able to actually make use of those mineral patches as well. Ooh, he will lose 1 Adept though. And no drone kills. So nicely handled here by our Zerg player. It could have been a lot worse. We've seen a lot worse, to be honest. Behind this, we're going to be going into a Stargate as well. So I kind of love this. Like, we're hiding our Stargate. We reveal the Stalker, which does typically lead to a Templar Archives. Sorry, a Twilight Council. This is usually a tell that we have maybe Glaive Adepts or, again, just a Twilight Council opener. So just going to be giving Koht a little bit of confusing information, as Koht is going for a very fast lair. Ay, ay, ay. What was this? Like a 3-minute 30 lair? Jesus. With this fast lair, this is looking like a Ling Queen Nidus all in. We got a lot of queens, we got a lot of lings, we don't have a lot of gas, and I'm feeling the Nidus. Koht just wants to end the game here and now. Meanwhile, across the map, we did have a Stargate opener. Into more tech, into a Twilight Council and a Forge. We have 2 gates. That is all the production we have to work with. I guess the Stargate as well, but LeoRusher, he doesn't know. He doesn't know what's happening. Lings being banked up back at home, and there is that Nidus. The main is quite large, and you know what? The Overlord has a vision of it. Oh boy. And LeoRusher, he doesn't have a spotted pylon. He doesn't know, Bobby. He doesn't know. Ah. The Oracle is going to be zooming across the map, and what can we see? We see a massive swell of Lings, and we do get eyes on the Nidus. We know, but doesn't matter. Is it too late? LeoRusher, he's aware of what's going on. A shield battery gets thrown down into the main base. We have a third. Third is going to be threatened. The Nidus is on the way. We are making a Void Ray. Good decision here by LeoRusher, but it only just now started. Again, it was a late scout overall. Boy, the Nidus does finish. The Queens pop out. They transfuse. The Nidus will stay alive. The Lings are flooding on in. Oh my god. The Void Ray is going to be able to come out, but how much damage is going to be done before that happens? We do have the overcharge. That is going to bind LeoRusher some time. At the same time, Lings are looking to reinforce here on the front lines, rushing towards that third. And Koht, he can just bounce between the main and that third base. Oh, good positioning here on these adepts, but the overcharge has run out. Solid SimCity though here by Koht, by LeoRusher. He's really minimizing his losses. The Lings just keep on flooding in. They're going to be going down. Koht being maybe a little bit too wasteful, but he is at least going to break the third. He needs more than just the third base though. Oh, the target fire. The Void Ray almost goes down. Oh no, don't come back in. Ooh, the Void Ray gets sniped out of the sky. And that was kind of the backbone of this army. Thankfully, we do have a second Void Ray, but once again, it's being focused down. Boys are being pulled. Lings are finally doing some damage. The shield batteries are out of energy. We do have an overcharge. Once again, that is going to force Koht back. Meanwhile, he just sends his Lings to the natural. Queens are being focused now. We are running out of transfused energy, but we just barely have enough. We even have a Spore. We morphed into Spore, Papi. Lings going to town, busting down the natural wall. We're looking to force a LeoRusher on one base economy. We're trying to warp in whatever we can, but once again, we are out of energy on these shield batteries. We only had 2. We have a second Void Ray. It's being focused down. No reaction, and the Void Ray does fall. Oh my god, the second Void Ray is being focused as well. We do pull it back just in time, but there are just too many Queens. Too many Queens. The final Void Ray does get killed. And without the Void Ray, we have vanilla Stalkers and vanilla Zealots. No blink, no +1. The upgrades were cancelled to make whatever we could. And Koht is slowly breaking the defenses of LeoRusher. We're even waddling a Queen in randomly. Let's go. We have a couple more gates on the way, but these gateways feel a little bit late. Koht, he just has too much momentum. Twilight Council is going to be going down. Not the biggest of deals, to be honest. But the SimCity is falling, and this main base is looking more and more vulnerable over time. They're queens, so it's like it's a slow death, but LeoRusher is dying. He lost every probe here at his natural. He is down to 16 workers. He's trying to get these gates up and running so he can warp in some more zealots. Ugh. But he only has minerals to work with. No more gas. He's warping in what he can. Yes. At this point, it looks like Koht just has too much here. Again, the scout was too late. We're recalling. Okay. We're giving up on the main base. Do I like it? I don't know. I mean, there isn't much production in the main anyway. It's not the most useful base here for LeoRusher. This is where his production is. He has to hold on to it. But we have slow lots. What can I say? They're slow lots, man. As we are getting quite a large army, to be fair. LeoRusher has a lot of zealots, but we have even more Lings, even more Queens. We're busting down into the natural. Overcharge is going to be popped. And if Koht wanted to, he could just split up his army half in half and go here outside the natural instead. And that's exactly what he's doing. Again, it makes sense just because this ramp is so narrow. It's so difficult to really push through here. So we're just going to be going for the natural ramp instead. Back at home, Koht, he's droning. He's getting a 4th base. He threw down a Roach Warren as well. Doesn't have a lot of gas to work with, but he's working on it. Oh, and LeoRusher, he pushes out. He's out of position. The natural is under threat. The last mining base here of LeoRusher. No, not like this. Celts are doing what they can, but the shield battery went down. There is no overcharge. The Queens, they waddle on forward. The Adepts, they killed the Nidus, but at what cost? At the cost of the Protoss. Koht punching up here with 2 different all-ins, by the way. It was LeoRusher who won the macro game. But before we get to that point, before the macro, we get the cheese. And that is where Koht can thrive. GG gets called, and Koht takes the series 2-1 and eliminates LeoRusher. GG. Oh. GG, well played. Congratulations. Let me know. Congratulations to Koht as he does take the series 2-1, takes down a more well-known player in LeoRusher, and moves on to face his next opponent. I mentioned it earlier, a while ago now, but Demi did take down Starkiller, and Koht moves on to face him in the quarterfinals. Oh boy. We're going to be jumping into another ZVZ. Demi versus Koht. Oh, we're getting some new maps. Oh, let's go. This is our first quarterfinals. Oh my god.